All right. So if you could achieve 10 times better results in achieving your goals, would you want to know the answer to that? Well, that's what we're here to talk to you about today. I'm alongside my friend and business partner, Donnie Alvarenga. Donnie, welcome to our conversation today on how to 10x your results and achieving your goals in 2021.
Hey, Dave, I'm excited to talk about success is a topic I love talking about. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, there's a lot of people that had not so good 2020, and the idea of actually setting goals for the new year and even having the concept that they could achieve them 10 times faster, 10 times easier, 10 times better is probably a big stretch. But we're going to share some ideas with you today on how you can 10x your results. And it may be just a reminder to you, or it may be brand new, but we'd love to share them with you. And the concept is in the area of coaching, actually having a coach that is helping you to achieve better results. Now, before you get too into overthinking it, whether you can afford it or whether you can do it, we just like to share some ideas with you. I've been working as a certified health and lifestyle coach for 12 years. Donnie's been a coach. What is it? Almost 10 now or nine?
9, yeah.
Nine
Going on
years.
10, yeah.
She is actually a nurse practitioner. She actually worked in a healthcare environment. And over the last 9 years, she's been doing health and lifestyle coaching right alongside me and many others. And we've been helping people to get healthier. And we've seen the 10x results factor. We've seen people improve their results. And so we thought we'd just share the top 10 reasons of why we think that health coaching could help you to accelerate your results and get 10 times better success in 2021. So the first one, Donnie, is the reason why to utilize a coach to accelerate your progress is just the area of energy. Oftentimes, people we run into contact with, they're lacking of energy. They're lacking of this, extra level of effort that they have to give to accomplish extraordinary results or to get better results. So in your personal experience in working with a coach and having a coaching relationship with your clients, why do you think that coaching provides that extra bump of energy?
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen a hamster in a hamster wheel, but that little thing is running, right? There's a lot of energy that's being spent going nowhere. And what I have found with a lot of people, myself included, is that I can invest a lot of energy into something and not realize that it's not going to propel me further or faster. And then I'll have somebody that comes in and says, hey, if you just move like 2 inches to the right and you put that same level of energy in, you're going to go places, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that because I've always been in the hamster wheel. And so having a coach that will say, hey, just 2 inches to the right, or showing where to invest that energy, right? How to like maybe funnel that energy so that we use that energy more efficiently. I have found that to be invaluable.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely an issue with people being diffused in their energy is that they're trying to accomplish so many different things. So I want to lose weight, I want to get healthy, I want to exercise, I want to improve my sleep, I want to do this, and they just get so many different things where they start losing energy because they're not focused. And, we like to say is that a confused mind does nothing. And so that can create a loss of energy or loss of momentum. Well, the second area or the second reasons of why we feel that a coach could help you to accelerate your progress is just the perspective. Having an outside perspective. We talk a lot, Donnie, in the coaching world about blind spots. Talk about your experience with maybe having a coach identify some blind spots and maybe how you've identified some blind spots and how that really released a person to begin to have better results.
Well, we talk about aha moments, right? The aha is when we see what's in that blind spot, that thing that might be holding us back. I don't know, it might be a big old anchor that's holding you back, but it's in your blind spot and you don't see it. And somebody that comes to see from the outside in a different perspective can see, oh, did you notice you've got an anchor hanging off the side of your car? That's why you're not going places. And so that the concept of a blind spot, let's kind of break it down. It's something you don't see. It's something you don't see. And when you have somebody else that sees it and can point it out, it can be like cause major breakthrough. And in my own life, it has been invaluable where I'm like, How did you see that? How did you do that? And yet, just by bringing that fresh perspective, it gives me a whole new level of energy to keep fighting, right?
Yeah. Have you ever thought that there was a specific problem that you needed to resolve, or there's something that you needed to accomplish and you're working really hard at it? And then you realize that really wasn't the problem at all. It was this problem behind the problem that was holding you back. And maybe some of you are dealing with a loss of enthusiasm, or maybe there's some challenges and obstacles that are standing in your way. And you're focused on removing the obstacles and the challenges rather than upstairs thinking about how you can embrace the obstacle as the way. I remember telling my coach one time, I said, you know what? Life is just so chaotic right now. I'm having a hard time focusing in on eating right and exercising. And he said, maybe the reason why you're challenged in eating right and exercising is because you're too focused on the obstacle or the barrier. What if you said, because of the barrier and obstacle, I must be more focused on my healthy choices? I said, well, that takes my excuse away. My excuse is actually something I'm holding on to. It's preventing me from achieving it. And he says, well, let's get rid of that excuse, Dave. Let's embrace the obstacle as the way. So if you want better results in 2021, have some better perspective and get focused on your energy by having some outside perspective, maybe give you some avenues or some directions of how you can pursue.
I
So
love
the
what you
third,
just said,
go
Dave,
ahead.
in terms of perspective, is the fact that your coach reframed the obstacle. Okay, we agree there is an obstacle, right? Except that sometimes we look at that obstacle and say, oh, that's keeping me from winning. And your coach just reframed it and said, no, that is the way for you to win, right? And so that fresh perspective helps you kind of see the world in a different way.
Yeah. And it also, I think that the third area is there, it makes you more resilient. You know, some of us struggle with resilience, and, you know, resilience is kind of the art of bouncing back, right? And so maybe you've had a position where, you know, in 2020, you bounced in the opposite direction of where you wanted to go. You went completely the other direction of where you said you wanted to go in 2020. You know, is anybody else struggling with some of that? I know that there's some things that I wrote down in 2020 that I wanted to do, didn't get them done, actually went the opposite direction than where they were. But having a coach provide me with some perspective and provide me with some strategy and some encouragement keeps my eyes focused on the prize. Any experiences that you've had, Donnie, with increased resiliency in either you or your clients when working with a coach?
Well, it's interesting because as what we want to do is we want to help people experience more in life, right? And I remember one time I was with a group of coaches and we were offering people the opportunity, do you want more flexibility and purpose and balance in your life? And the person walking by, we were at a conference, and the person walking by said no. Now, for somebody that's in business that is offering a service, a no feels like a rejection. And that's like you kind of going in the wrong direction, right? Well, in that scenario, we had another fellow coach with us that kind of just made light of it and said, no, I prefer, to be incarcerated, right? But she said it just very lightheartedly, right? She just said it in a fun way. And what could have been something that would have like destroyed this coach and said, oh, she was able to bounce back and go to the next person and just laugh off that rejection, right? And so that is the power that having somebody have your back can bring into an equation. It keeps us moving forward and trying again when life doesn't turn out the way that we want it.
Yeah. I think it also ends up adding confidence, which would be the fourth point of why a coach can help you to get 10x results, is that your confidence grows. Not because you believe it more than you did in the past. It's just that you have another person that believes it with you, and just one other person that's sharing perspective on, belief in a particular process or a particular goal, can help you to accelerate your progress, because, where you lack confidence, you will not go as boldly, right? So if there's a specific goal that you want to accomplish, whether it's losing weight, getting fit, running a marathon, running a half marathon, whatever your goal is, you're going to have more confidence if you have somebody in your corner that's telling you that you can win, you can do this, even when you don't believe it. Any experience with having more confidence with working with your clients, Donnie?
Well, I got to tell you that having somebody that believes in you makes a world of difference in your belief. right? I remember one time this guy called David Bush called me and said, "Hey, Donnie, you want to come on a webinar with me?" And I was like, "What?" I couldn't sleep the night before. I was so nervous, right? But something about having you believe that I could do it made me believe that I could do it, right? And that there's incredible power there.
Awesome. That's so great. I love it when you tell that story because I remember the fear in your eyes when you were invited. But look at you now, you amazing rock star. Well, the next thing is the area of mindfulness is that, sometimes we try to attack a particular goal with strategies, tactics, and, effort. And we don't understand the value of the peace and the serenity that comes from more time for mindfulness. And, I personally never thought that mindfulness was an accelerant. I thought it was a delay, taking time to just, step back from the grind of doing, and actually being, that to me was a waste of time. But having a coach that challenged me to become more mindful and to help me to become, more at peace with certain things in terms of being still and not necessarily in the doing has actually helped me accelerate and to help me to accomplish a lot more than I could when I was just doing all the time. Have you had any experience with that?
Well, the whole concept of mindfulness and self-awareness, a great coach will ask questions that will help you think of things that you never thought of before. And as you think of those things you never thought of before, you will become more aware. You'll become more familiar with yourself, right? And when you become more familiar with yourself, that builds confidence, which ties into what we were just talking about. And so a great coach will ask those questions that you never thought to ask yourself. And it unlocks areas in your brain that help you break through.
Yeah. So far we've covered five, the things that you're going to benefit from or things that are going to accelerate your progress. If having a coach is something that you're open to, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more perspective. You're going to have more resilience. You're going to have more confidence, and you're going to be more mindful about the journey. And you're going to not necessarily make some of those reactive decisions. You're also going to get communication, which, sometimes a person needs to talk out their strategies. They need to kind of bounce ideas off. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm trying to do. And getting that communication, just being able to talk out your strategy, or sometimes, you just need, I don't know if you ever had this experience, Donnie, where you tell your coach something and you go, I just coached myself just by telling you what I was thinking. I now am aware of some of my stinking thinking. Any experience with just communication and how that's accelerated your progress?
Well, I think that just in the whole self-awareness we were just talking about, in the mindfulness, when we are more self-aware, when we are more aware of what's going on with us, it makes our communication with anybody easier, not just our coach. Obviously, as we talk things out, that helps us work through everything, really, honestly. But in working with a coach and improving that self-awareness that comes from the mindfulness, from the confidence, all of that, it improves our communication with anybody. Any relationship can, which leads us to the next one, right, can benefit from improved communication.
Yeah. And communication is so important to nowadays, to be able to have a good, solid relationship, not only with another person that believes 100% that you're able to accomplish your goals, but also just the communication that you have with communicating with other people, what you want to accomplish and how you want to accomplish it. Because if it's all about you and this private coach, well, yeah, you could be self-determined and have enough willpower to accomplish something, and you could be developing skills. But it's oftentimes when you are sharing your goal, sharing your passion or your values with other people, and what you choose to believe with other people, that begins to attract other people to want to cheer you on and to encourage you, or to not derail you because of their own personal decisions. So if I know that your goal is to stop drinking, right? I'm not going to be in a position where I'm going to be drinking around you, because that's something that you've chose to be important to you. So I'm not going to be in a position where I'm going to cause you to stumble. So the same thing goes when you're sharing your goals and communicating with your friends and family members what's important to you. Wait, we're running out of time here. Let's go to the next one, relationships. So when you build quality relationships, you have a better chance of achieving your health and well-being goals, because conflict is oftentimes one of the biggest derailments for people that are on a path to better health and well-being. Talk a little bit more about how your coaching or coaching that you've received has helped you to improve relationships, to decrease some of the drama and to get you out of the drama triangle so that you're not caught up in making emotional decisions that may or may not be in light of your health journey.
Well, that perspective we were talking about before, right? When we're in a drama situation within a relationship, all we see is what we see. It's our side of the story that we see. But when I've connected with coaches in the past, even in in my marriage, I was talking to a coach once, and my coach just said, "Well, Donnie, you just blew it." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And I needed to hear that, because then my coach showed me why and showed me a completely different side. And I didn't have an emotional charge with my coach the way that I did with my husband at the time, right? And so having that perspective that a coach brings, always understanding that that coach is here to help you win, right? That understanding is not present necessarily with every single relationship. And yet with a coach, especially when you're paying a coach, right? That coach wants you to win and has your best interest at heart. And so I think that for myself, it's made me more open to hear things like, Donnie, you blew it. And when I hear things like, Donnie, you blew it, learn how is it that that's going to help me win. From that perspective, it has been incredibly powerful.
Yeah, one of the great 4 questions that we use inside of our health coaching program is what happened? What did you want to have happen? What's missing? And what's next? A lot of times people think that, we work with people in their health and fitness goals as lifestyle coaches. Um, that's very little of what we do. Most of the time, we're talking to people about life events, helping them to plan, prepare, and to partner up with people to overcome the challenges that they face. And sometimes just understanding and reflecting how to improve your relationships by having a better understanding of what that person's thinking will help you to actually accelerate your progress in the gym or in your nutrition or whatever your other health and lifestyle goals are. If you're struggling with a habit, there's probably an unhealthy habit. There's probably a relationship issue, whether it's either loneliness, boredom, sadness, tired, you're mad, you're distressed, you're lacking, you're eager about something, or maybe you're worrisome about something, and that's probably the thing that's causing you to derail yourself. And a coach can end up helping you to build better quality relationships, not only with others but with yourself. There's so many times that I talk to people about their health and lifestyle goals, and it's not necessarily the nutrition that's the biggest issue. Even though they keep blaming the food as being the problem, it's oftentimes what's eating them, or what's consuming them, not necessarily what they're consuming. So the next one is clarity. Coaching brings clarity. Give an example of the coaching clarity that you received or that you've been able to give to another person.
Well, I just see it in working with people that are looking to build businesses, right? That are looking to improve their life in a better way. Those that have clarity on what they are building and why they are building it, they tend to grow faster. They tend to do what they set out to do. Sometimes people will say, let's just use, for example, the idea of, I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight did you lose, Dave?
100 pounds. 12 years ago today, or no, yet tomorrow.
Boom.
Tomorrow is the health anniversary. I started the journey.
See, 100 pounds. Okay. I lost 55 pounds. I didn't have 100 pounds to lose, right? Does that mean no? But what people come to us is they say, I just want to lose some weight. Well, what does that mean? It can be 100 pounds. It could be 10 pounds. It can be 5 pounds. It can be 30 pounds. Point being is that when you have clarity surrounding what your target is and why it's important to you, why was that important to you, Dave? Why did you want to lose 100 pounds?
I didn't want to be a person that went to the grave early, and I wanted to be around for my family and be able to live a very high quality life.
Yeah. So having that clarity, you were able to accomplish that and a lot faster than you thought you would.
Yeah, a lot faster, 3 times faster. So I speak from experience when I say that a coaching relationship can 10x your results, because it did for me 12 years ago. And for the last 12 years, I have been coaching and helping other people just like Donnie and maybe somebody that shared this video with you. We've been accelerating progress because the clarity that is provided, and the clarity not just in terms of your goals and what you need to accomplish, but also your why. Why are you doing this? And a person that can ask you the question why and hold space for you until you can get clear on that why, right? It wasn't just for the kids. I could go and I could spend a whole lot more time clarifying my why even further because I went through the process and a coach led me into that process. It wasn't a process that I was able to do on my own. Donnie, let's go to the next two. We only have two more left in terms of the reasons why a coach can 10x your results in the next year of getting healthier. But it's the idea of accountability. And, you know, I love Stephen Covey has a great quote that says, accountability breeds responsibility. Most people would think that accountability is self-evident when you have another person that's reaching out to you and checking in and asking about progress and asking about goals. But it's not just about, you know, accountability in terms of did you eat right and exercise, but there's also some accountability of what you're learning and what you're looking forward to. Share with us a little bit more about how accountability can 10x a person's results.
I think that for some reason, we value other people's opinions more than we value our own. And so I like to think of the coaching as it brings out the power of saving face. Really, that's what it does. And what's interesting is that as a someone that has been coached that believes that my coach is in it for me to win, right? I want to make my coach proud, right? I want to make my coach proud. So it's not that I feel like my coach is going to beat me over the head if I don't live up to whatever I said I was going to do, but there's this higher level of like I said, I will do something if I tell you I'm going to do it, and then I have to be here to show you that I did it, than if I just tell myself. It's just amazing how that works.
Yeah, so good. And we have so many people out there that have struggled for too long. They've struggled just trying to do things in their old-fashioned ways of doing it. I think that it was Einstein who said, you know, the problems of, or the thinking of yesterday will not solve the problems of today. And we can't keep going back to our old strategies and methods and trying to solve new problems. Maybe you've had a chance to find some success in losing weight or getting healthier or getting fit, but you need that extra edge, and that extra accountability may be the thing that pushes you beyond what's comfortable. And maybe you've been kind of doing that yo-yo thing and up and down, and you just need somebody to hold your feet to the fire for the reasons of why you want to do it. And that leads us to the last benefit of working with a coach, is the idea of raising the bar and raising the performance. So, you know, after I got done with losing 100 pounds, my coach didn't say, congratulations, now, you know, you're at the top of the mountain. He asked me the question, what's next? What's next? What's something that's meaningful and purposeful to you that you could accomplish? And if you don't have something that's next, that's exciting to you, you're not going to raise your performance and you're not going to live an extraordinary life. You're going to be maybe above average, but you're not going to be living the extraordinary life or and achieving extraordinary results in your health and well-being. So if you've accomplished something, whether you've lost weight and gotten fit, or maybe you've completed something that's significant, ask yourself the question, what's next? So Donnie, any more thoughts on raising the bar and how a coach is challenging you to get outside your comfort zone and stretching you?
Well, you know, when I think of a coach and performance, I mean, you think of athletes, right? And you played some sports there, didn't you, Dave?
A little bit. Yep.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about how it is that a coach raises the bar?
Yeah, you know, I think that Tom Landry is a famous coach that coached the Dallas Cowboys, and he once said that, you know, I ask people to do things that they don't want to do so that they can become the type of football player that they've always wanted to be. And I think that that's what coaching has done for me, and what I try to do for other people is I try to ask more of them than they are willing to ask for themselves, to push them past that ceiling of complexity, or that ceiling of what we would call the fear barrier, or the fear of change barrier. You know, we have these glass ceilings that we bump our head up against, and sometimes we need somebody to push us. We need somebody to press us to become more, to be more, to achieve more, to have more, so that we can actually live to our fullest potential. So it's performance is my passion. I love seeing people raise their performance. And Donnie, it's always been a pleasure to partner up with you to inspire other people to design and live more extraordinary lives. And we hope that this is helpful to you. We hope that this is something that maybe inspires you to go out there and find a coach. If you need a person to have a conversation with, post a message in the comments or reach out to the person that shared this video with you. We'd love to encourage you in any way we can.
Yeah, have a great one and Happy New Year.
Thanks, everybody.